Hey guys, this is Brian. Just wanted to reach back out and talk about the training that we kind of had some audio and technical and all mistakes basically. Basically, guys, we're going to go through My Business for Google. So we're going to talk about how to maximize your My Business listing on Google, both on Google Maps and Google Search, to make sure that you're getting the maximized exposure in the marketplace when people search for either real estate agent, realtor, or actually specifically your name. So we want to make sure that you're getting the maximum exposure when these things are happening because people are searching for you, whether that be before a listing appointment, before a buyer appointment, or even worse, after, to make sure that they can confirm the things that you just talked to them about. So making sure that your business listing is ideal and making sure that it is top of mind and has all the right content is going to be ideal for you. So today we're going to kind of break into that. I'm going to be showing you my iPad and how to make sure that that is accessible. So if I bring that into here, basically guys, this is my iPad. It has the full app up in the top right hand corner here. It is called My Business. Now you can download this through the App Store or through Google Play onto an iPhone, Android, or in this case, an iPad. So when I pull that information up, I have my information sitting on my screen. Now, if I had multiple businesses like I do, you can also pull down and go to your other businesses. But in this particular circumstance, I'm going to be working with my main profile here. Now, the first part that I want to identify with, and I'm just going to take myself off screen for a second. First part I want to identify with is this little section right up at the top. Now, I want to focus on this for a couple reasons. And give me a second, let me a little adjustment here. So this is your views, searches, and activity. This is basically what Google is analyzing to see if you are getting good exposure in the marketplace. So if you pull this little down arrow, this tells you if you've had increase or decrease in your actual views. So if you'll notice, I've had an increase in my search views, but I've had a decrease in my map views. So this gives me some focal point of what I need to work on, how I need to improve my actual search criteria. Now, the next one is your actual searches. So in this case, I'm actually both up on direct and discovery. So discovery is people who find your business profile through searching other categories or searching through a category like the type of service that we've identified, in our case, real estate. Direct is people that typed in my name directly into the system or my business name directly into the system. Third actually is actual activity. So this is things that are actually happening on Google, whether they are visiting your website directly from your link, whether they are calling you with a click to call, whether they are actually looking at your photographs that you're actually putting on the system, and direction requests. So this is, remember, a mapping function, so they may actually click to actually map to your space. Now, the next section is going to be the discussion about photos. Now we're going to postpone that for a moment and come back to it because we want to make sure that we're using that the most effective. Next part is going to be the actual offers. So offers are a conversation about things like if I'm offering a discount or a concession to closing cost, or maybe I'm offering to pay for their inspection, whatever it might be. These are great places that you can demonstrate offers. I don't run offers too often because our real estate business is a difficult place to run offers to make sure that we stay in compliance. So I don't play with it too often. I have done things like discount or free inspections whenever they buy with us, stuff like that. So something that you can use. The next one is going to be events. Now, this is something that can kind of couple mixed with places like, Facebook, maybe Facebook events, kind of coupling it with that. If you're having a buyer seminar or seller seminar or some training, whatever that might be, this might be a great avenue to kind of find those details. And remember, this is basic event detail, time, start, end date, and then some description points of it, and then adding a photograph or an actual video for that. Okay. Now, when that also comes down to, you have a actual like a meter telling you where you're at in your actual setup of your Google business profile. Now, you'll notice mine is not completely green. This is actually where technology always tends to happen. Is that in my particular circumstance, my profile, I've filled it out multiple times, but business or actual technology doesn't always work. So in that circumstance, mine is actually showing as not complete, even though I've done this completion process multiple times. Now, the next step is going to be the discussion about your actual detail when it comes to if you're updating your business hours or posting your COVID-19 update. Now, a COVID-19 update is basically just what are you doing for COVID-19. I don't know if that will be around for much longer, but at the end of the day, it is still there. Get more reviews. Now, I'll talk about reviews a little bit more real quick in depth because I want you to realize that the reviews are going to be a great place for people to start looking for you. Now, this is demonstrated in the fact that if you guys are paying attention to these reviews, keeping them top of mind can have some value add for you. And why do I say that? Because I know that if I go looking for a restaurant in a town that I don't know or in an industry of something that I don't know, my first place that I always start is with reviews because I want to see what perception is from other people. So focusing on those reviews and asking for those reviews is ideal. Now the question is, should they be on Google? Should they be on Zillow? Should they be wherever? Facebook or Realtor.com? The answer is I would suggest they be everywhere because everybody is searching everywhere. Now, where do you want to focus the most? Well, most people start their search with a Google search. So I would ideally point to Google as the primary of where you should be focusing your reviews towards. But that is my perception. That is by no means any more than that. And I would suggest that you use it effectively. So you can share your profile to get more reviews. We can go over that a little bit more in depth in a second. But basically, guys, the next step is your followers and then reviews, how many you have, how many are unresponded, and what your current Google rating is. Now, the next step, this little tab down here at the bottom, is going to be the discussion about customers. Now, in customers, and I apologize, you guys can't see my screen because I didn't zoom out. So in customers, we want to go right in here, okay, and focus on those customers. Now, when I bring this up, you'll notice I have my reviews at the top. I have a tab called messages, a tab called calls, and a tab called followers. These two tabs, the messages and calls, are brand new and they are beta testing the calls. The messages now have gone into full functionality. So in these, you want to make sure that you sign up. If you already have a My Business app, you need to make sure you sign up for both of these because they are really good resources. So the first one is going to be the conversation about messages. So you notice the reviews. This breaks down all the reviews, what your score is on those reviews, if I've replied or if I've not replied. In the messages, this is actually something that you will find on your Google My Business or Google Maps functionality. I'll show it to you in just a second to kind of give you an idea of why this is so ideal to have right now. We're only starting to see some activity on this, but I will tell you that I think it's going to grow pretty substantially. Next one is going to be your actual calls. So calls are actually recording anybody that is clicking to call you. All right, and it is not loading today for some reason, but basically it will show you your call log of all people that have actually gone in and actually selected to call you from their My Business account or from their actual, and I say their My Business, from their Maps account to actually call you. And my program. There you go. So there's my call section. I can see if I've missed that phone call or if I actually talked to them and how long I talked to them. So this is a great resource because this can actually keep track if you miss a phone call or if you actually need to call somebody back and maybe you didn't write the number down correctly. This is a great avenue to identify that. The last part is followers. Now, we have not played followers very well yet. If you'll notice, I only have 2 followers, so nothing of substance, but I do want to make sure that you actually pay attention to it and find out how maybe to make this work. I have not figured it out yet. I have not even put time into it. So understand, guys, there's still stuff that I'm not working on to maximize my own profile, so I have stuff to work on as well. The next thing is your actual profile. Now this is where I really want to dive in deep. Now you'll notice this that I have no cover and I have no logo. I have both of those and that's actually why my green has not filled up in my meter of how much I've actually completed my task. But if I actually look at my profile online, whether that be on the Google Maps app, okay, so this is the Google Maps app, and this is where I was telling you that it can be ideal to make sure that you have all that stuff put together because people can click on directions, they can save it, they can click on what's nearby, they can send it to your phone, or they can share. But at the end of the day, I also have all my other details going on in my profile. So great place to see what it looks like. The second one is going to be that you can look at it actually on your Google search, so what it looks like whenever somebody searches for you and how that profile will look. This is on an iPad, so this is how it would look on an iPad when somebody searches. Okay. Now, the rest of these details need to be filled out in entirety, okay? And you'll notice I have an overview, a post, a photos, and a products, and I'll go into those in just a moment. But right now, let's go back to the overview. So I have all this information. Now, I have my address, I have my Google short link. Now, this is key to make sure that you adjust this. I've changed mine to Brian Birds. You can change yours to whatever that they actually have access to. My address, okay, making sure that that is all accurate. Now, one thing you have to be careful of is that people can change your actual profile through this. So it's a public sourcing data, so they can put in requests for changes. This is how you find things like when things are permanently closed. If the business owner never permanently closed it, a user can actually go in there and identify it as permanent closed. Now, you have to be careful though, because if users do that to you and you don't actually adjust it, they can actually change your website. We actually had this happen where they actually changed our website without me identifying it, and it took almost a week for our website to come back to where it needed to be. So this is really kind of something that you need to be careful of, because listen, I'm not saying people are malicious, but this is one avenue that you just need to really supervise. Next section is going to be what services you're actually providing. So in the services, I can tell you what areas and parts of town that I'm operating. I have El Paso, Texas. I also have a couple breakdowns. I can type in cities or postcodes in here. Okay. Next part is going to actually be services. Now, services are something that you want to make sure you have the most opportunity for. So I have a lot of additional details. I have real estate consultant, real estate agents, estate appraiser, home help, so on and so forth, real estate agency. These are all great avenues, but these are all things that we want to make sure that we're top of mind on. Next section is going to be hours. Now, I've selected to actually select all hours, 24 hours a day. This is because it found that it was getting higher relevancy when it was 24 hours. So that is your choice, but you can adjust that to whatever you want. Special hours. So we're coming up on a weekend that is a holiday weekend. Maybe making your special hours would be ideal there. You can just simply go in and put what days and what special hours they will have. Then you have your phone number. Now, keeping your phone number top of mind and making sure that it's there. You can also add additional numbers in there. Next section is going to be actually your website. Now, this is probably one of the more important parts of the equation. So you'll notice I've actually put a little longer website in here, and that is because I wanted to hit a certain place to make sure that I'm identifying the traffic. And then the last part is actually going to be what description of your business is. And then I can click on view all, and this is basically just the entire business info of everything that's going on. So a quick glance of everything that's happening. You'll notice that I already have some closed days on there. Okay. And then, guys, the last part that we're going to have to talk about is the actual information about business profile details, and scrolling up to these things like posts, photos, and products. Now, this is where I was telling you that this is ideal. Having posts, and you'll notice there's a little button to add a post here at the bottom. You can also get to it at your home page by clicking this post function over in the far right. I'm actually right over the top of it, so let me move myself. So right here under the post section, but I'm going to actually run it from the profile so you can see what it looks like. So when I click on post, you'll notice that I have a bunch of posts. In fact, I have 688 posts over the life of my actual account. Now, these posts are going to be things like blog posts that I've put on my website, and then what I do is I create a post on Google My Business in order to drive traffic to my website. Google loves this whenever there's some cross-linking. Now, you need to be cautious with it because you need to make sure that it's unique and that it's not just simply plagiarizing what you're putting on your website, because then Google will look at it as plagiarism and they will actually deteriorate your Google listing. So what I've done here is I've simply grabbed this information. Let's just create a post so you can kind of see what happens. So let's say my son took some pictures of a Godzilla, right? He's into Godzilla right now. So if I took this picture, I would select a picture. I could select a video as well. I'm going to take that picture or video. I'm going to put in some information. So I'm going to write a quick note about it. I'm going to write about what's going on. And then I'm going to go down and click on add a button. when I click on add a button, I'm going to say learn more, right? And then I'm going to type the website. Now in this circumstance, I would put it to my blog post, and that way when people click it, they would actually go to my blog post. So this just adds value to your actual website and drives traffic to your website, because as we noticed earlier, I'll go back real quick. As we noticed earlier, move myself down, we had this little information at the top. Now what this says is that when I view on a Google search, that information about my post and my information will be focused in there, okay? And the same thing goes for whenever I'm looking actually on my Google Maps functionality. If you scroll down in your actual Google Maps app, there's actually going to be these things right here that are photos, and then I'm going to have information about posts and information about that. So right here, this is all going to be information that will have value to me, okay? So just small little sections and small little functionalities that will benefit us and have value, okay? Now, given that nature, we also have the section that is called photos. Now, photos is one of the most powerful things that I will suggest that you are adding. So in this circumstance, I've done things like added information about listings, but I also just put simple photos about details. So I have a photo here about my entire team, what the dynamics are, and then I just put social media content on here as well. You know, any detail that I can add, I add a photo here. Now, one of the keys that I found out recently is taking this photo and geotagging it. Now, geotagging is a whole other class by itself, but geotagging allows us to be able to get more relevance when it comes to Google Maps searching. So if I add more value to my geotag, then it's going to pop up in more places and therefore get more views. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to put up here is products. So in this case, I've put up this listing that was just listed, and I've basically broken down all the details to include bed, bath, and square footage. I've added some information, and I've clicked on a buy button. If I was going to add a new product, I would simply go into that detail. I'd add the photos, add the information, add the price point, add all the price range if I wanted to, and then I'd click on add a button. So guys, just a value add to your entire process to make sure that we are getting the most out of what we actually want to accomplish. All right, other than that, guys, I'm going to leave that there. Break off of that. And guys, the last thing that's in here is just a more function, just to go through and edit your functionality of what's going on, help and support, managing if you want to have business users, stuff like that. Basically, this is just management style of the situation. You can also put notifications. Now, my suggestion is you need to have this app on your phone for those messages and to identify if you have missed calls. So my suggestion is make sure that your notifications are turned on for all the details, okay? Because if you don't have notifications turned on, you won't get notifications for things like whenever customers message you or when customers call you. Okay, guys, hopefully that kind of breaks down what we missed out on the other day. I apologize for my audio issues, for my video issues, and all that other stuff, but technology only does not work when you actually need it. So in that circumstance, guys, this is a great app. Remember, it is called My Business, and that is the app functionality that you will search for when you go to the App Store or to the Google Play Store. You can download it on your iPad. You can download it on your iPhone. You can also get to it on the website of business.google.com, and this is a great avenue that will be able to break that functionality. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, don't hesitate. Reach out to us at any time. We are here to help you through this process, and hopefully we won't have any more audio issues or video issues in the future. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for giving me a few moments of your time. Have a great day. Good luck. See you later.